So this is a little bittersweet, but welcome to the season finale of The Girl Tribe.
More power to all the girls out there, a part of MissMalini's Girl Tribe.
Is it true that the women still get paid a lot less in the industry?
Not me.
You get paid the right amount?
Yeah. I get paid at par, if not more. But then also that's because I have not done a film with Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan, these actors who we've seen since childhood, who have an empire. So I honestly feel like, because I have not faced this, and I know for a fact on several projects, the male stars, if the females been bigger, have been paid less. I know of a couple of those instances too. I personally feel like Bollywood respects box office. If you can put bums in the seat, if you have credibility to give a market, some kind of return on investment, then you're good. I think that's what decides your pay.
Now that you have gotten to this point of evolution in your life and your relationships and your career, looking back, if you could tell that Sonali who was about to quit to have a baby, what's the one thing you would tell her? And I'm sure there's a lot of women who need that advice.
So, I'm really hoping that I didn't totally quit it.
Yeah.
In the sense, I was an actor, I was in a certain brain space, and I did certain kind of roles.
Yeah.
I think I've just evolved to doing different things. I started doing television, and in which I could manage my child, and I could manage the home, and I could do it. And I still continued. I think book club and everything is also an extension of that, because you're somewhere, you are in public life, you are a celebrity. Yeah. How do you use it in a certain way? Your brain has been used to working for so long. You need to use it. So that's how these various things and different things come up. And I think from there, I'll always keep finding new paths. And I'm sure I haven't still found exactly what it is that I want to do. So I think there's a lots more that I have to learn, and lots more that I'm going to find still.
Yeah. So I was scrolling through your Instagram and I love it. And one actually went and saw that song with the green little alien that you repeated, which is amazing. And then I saw this character, there's Komal and her boyfriend. So Komal is amazing. She always tells her best friend about Shashi, who's her boyfriend, who's also a drug dealer.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the fact that he's a drug dealer. You're talking about the fact that they hook up. Were you scared, or did you get any backlash for that?
Not at all. I generally always put out what I know or what I've experienced. Now, I may not be like the character, but the character, at least the ones that I create myself, they don't have those kind of barriers कि मैं ये नहीं कर सकती, वो नहीं कर सकती, because the fact is that most people have a rocking sex life, whether or not they talk about it.
Sure.
Urban life has its own manifestations.
I mean, look at the population alone.
Exactly.
I like how we pretend like nobody
Everyone's
has sex.
doing it.
Yeah.
So, and this is such a normal part of your life. And ये भी एक stereotype होता है ना कि कोमल जैसी लड़की का boyfriend नहीं होगा. क्यों नहीं होगा boyfriend? होगा. कोमल तो बहुत ही कमीनी है. How do you know?
Is it because it's like a secretion, that's something that's exiting your body? Like, what is the reason?
I think people are uncomfortable with the behind the scenes of women's sexuality. Like, I think they're very comfortable with put on the hot clothes and go seduce people, but they're not okay with what goes on inside. They don't want to deal with it. Whereas actually the reverse for men is their erections are super chill. Erections are like part and parcel of culture. Whereas lipstick under my burqa, a woman just fantasizing is like, we need to censor this. What can you do to just let them know that women are people? That's all the battle is.
So what happens within the industry? Did you feel there was support for you?
Not really. Because unfortunately, when I went underground, I had a lot of friends I used to party with, hang with. And nobody really, I fell off the wagon, so they stopped, they didn't really call. But that is the name, that's the game. If I get back in and I start, wearing the right clothes and I start getting seen, or someone posts a picture of me and going oh, I'll be invited right back in, and it's all a sham and it's all a clique. And it's all this little, like a tribe. And everybody...
Not the same kind of tribe.
No, but it's like this mutual admiration society. And unfortunately, everybody wants to aspire to be it. So everybody wants to be in it. And then it's this vicious...
by doing anything.
So it's just... but it's what works. So why is it wrong?
Are people always worried to take up an argument with you?
No, because it's interesting, especially when my team and I sit together, because we're all lawyers, and then we'll be like, but what did this sentence mean? And I really take into account the things that come out of my mouth. So I hold myself to account for everything that I say. And very often, if I falter, if I say something wrong, I'm okay being called out on that as well, because I know that there's a lot of unlearning even I have to do. I am very okay with unlearning, being called out where I falter, because I still have a lot to learn. If you say something that's sexist or inappropriate, I will call you out. I will keep calling you out. If you refuse to listen, I will excuse myself from said situation. But like I said, in every situation, in every space, I hold myself to accountability. I will demand for better from people around me. If demanding for better makes you uncomfortable and you don't want to be around me, that's okay. I'll survive. I'll live.
I want to know, आपकी life में कोई change आया है in finding love, and आपको क्या लगता है?
Finally, I'm going to say this today. So I disclosed my identity in 2005. Since 2005, I have a boyfriend.
Wow.
Still we're together.
Yeah, that's so nice. और वो आपको चाहते हैं कि आप sex change कराएं? But they're okay. He's okay.
Even if I want to do, then also he is okay. The matter is money. This sex change operation is too costly. Whenever I have got money, then I will do. Yeah, I will do. Definitely, I will do.
Yeah. Does it make you want to have children, not want to have children, or does it not affect that decision?
It doesn't affect that decision at all. I've always been very maternal. I've like right from my childhood. I don't know whether it's because of the experiences that I had, but I've always been very protective, very maternal. Would I want to have children? I think that's a question that I'm asking myself. From 21 till about 32, Malini, I think physically I craved children. I remember holding other people's children and crying because I wanted a baby so badly, right? But I didn't have a child then. But once and I think it's more a biological thing also, because you kind of go through that. Your body is like releasing these hormones and you're going crazy. So I felt that physical need deeply. But in the recent past, I find that I desire kids, but I don't believe I need to procreate or may have one of my own. I'm more open to the idea of adopting a child because I think that there's just too many human beings on this planet.
There's so many.
I don't know whether this is the kind of world, I mean, while the world is as magical as it is, I don't know whether the environment that we are in right now is genuinely conducive to bringing a new child, a new life.
And it really bothers me that so many people and even women themselves think that, okay, now the clock is ticking, I've got a career and everything, but that's not enough. I have to have kids. And it drives me crazy because people always come up to me and say, so when are you going to settle down? And I was like, what do you mean? When are you going to have kids? And I was like, well, my business is my baby. And they're kind of like, okay, you're crazy. So, I don't, there's all this pressure to do that. And even women themselves feel this way. So I don't know how to change that or why that is.
It's entrenched in our culture somewhat. And whether you agree with it or not, there's also a kind of momentum that just goes along with that also as the norm, as completely acceptable. The only way you can possibly change it is in your individual story.
Yeah.
And hope that has a positive impact on others, you know?
First, we thought, that, okay, how do you spread this information that it's not okay and you must teach children at a certain age about violence and not to, because you have to teach the boys before, I don't know, what age they turn into people who are sexist.
It's so gradual, right? I mean, I have a son, he's going to be 8. This little son that's going to probably become this very masculine man that we are having to deal with today. And he's going to also be conditioned by those pressures that you have to not cry, you have to be the breadwinner, you have to be this macho guy, all of those things that men also suffer. And already there are people around him who sometimes say, don't cry like a girl. And what does that even mean? And we have these long conversations about what does it mean? What can girls do? What can boys do? Mama, I don't want anything pink. No, that you go enter a toy store, they'll first tell you boy or a girl. I'm like, how does it matter? Give me gender neutral toys. So I have a doll, we have kitchen set, we do gardening, we do pottery, we do whatever is seen as a little softer things, but we've got to make our boys more sensitive, and they need to appreciate and understand the world needs to be a more equal place. So I think it's just as difficult or as challenging.
I'm going to ask you before you go to please put a pledge up on my wall of fame, so I'm inspired every day when I see it.
I want to keep finding ways to tell our stories.
I love that. To be an uncensored woman, hashtag no filter. Reduce, reuse, and recycle.
To remove this term female comedian from the online dictionary.
I just want equality for everyone.
To unapologetically speak up and demand for better for the women and children of our country.
Be open to life.
Let's all live a real, unfiltered life.
To raise my boy to
What you said with empathy.
look at the world with compassion and empathy.
Being my best self, going for the goals and coming through without worrying about intimidating anybody.
Please pin this up on my wall of fame.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for season 1 of The Girl Tribe. It's been such a wonderful journey so far. What started as just a Facebook group, just a small space for women to talk freely, has turned into something so close to my heart. I've been blessed to have this platform, this show, as an opportunity to make a real change. And I hope you've enjoyed immersing yourself in real conversations as much as I did. Don't forget to show your love by joining me on Facebook at Malini's Girl Tribe. Share your thoughts with women all over the country so that we can learn and make a difference for the generations to come. I'll see you very soon. Till then, remember, let your vibe attract your tribe.